The 2025 season could be a turning point, or the downfall, for several drivers. Lewis Hamilton faces the biggest challenge of his career as he leaves his comfort zone at Mercedes to join Ferrari. Can he adapt to a new philosophy and technology? Meanwhile, Yuki Tsunoda is under serious pressure at Racing Bulls. If he fails to outperform Isaac Hadjar, Red Bull might not hesitate to cut him from F1. At Alpine, the battle between Jack Doohan and Franco Colapinto is heating up. Will the team base its decision on track performance, or will business and politics take priority? These three storylines could reshape the F1 grid this season. Lewis Hamilton cannot underestimate the Ferrari challenge. Lewis Hamilton's move to Ferrari for the 2025 season is not just a team switch, it's a major transformation in his career. This decision ends his 12-year dominance with Mercedes and opens a new chapter filled with challenges in Maranello. However, the challenge is not just about adapting to a new car, it also involves adjusting to a different work culture, technical philosophy, and even minor details like steering wheel layout. The Ferrari power unit is not just plug and play. One of Hamilton's biggest challenges will be understanding how Ferrari's power unit works, which is vastly different from the Mercedes engine he has driven throughout the hybrid era. Bernie Collins, former Aston Martin strategist and Sky Sports F1 pundit, emphasizes that while all power units may seem similar to the average viewer, the reality is far more complex. He's never driven a Ferrari engine before. Everything from power modes, energy regeneration, to how power is delivered to the wheels will feel unfamiliar to him, Collins said on the Red Flags podcast. This difference is not just technical but also strategic. Ferrari is known for its aggressive approach to power unit performance, whereas Mercedes has traditionally been more conservative with fuel consumption and hybrid power deployment. Hamilton will need to adjust his driving style to match the characteristics of his new machine. Steering wheel layout, a small detail that can make a big difference. Beyond the power unit, even small changes like the layout of Ferrari's steering wheel could pose an unexpected challenge. As Collins pointed out, where he instinctively presses buttons will be different. This may seem minor, but in a race where speeds exceed 300 km per hour, a split-second mistake can be costly. Drivers develop muscle memory for button positions on their steering wheels, from regenerative braking controls to radio communication. Hamilton, who has spent years using Mercedes' layout, will now have to retrain himself with Ferrari's system, a process that could take longer than expected. From Germany to Italy, a cultural shift. Another often overlooked challenge is the difference in team culture between Mercedes and Ferrari. Mercedes operates with German precision, structured workflows, efficient communication, and a highly data-driven strategy. Ferrari, on the other hand, has a more emotional and sometimes volatile internal dynamic, with immense pressure from the Italian media and passionate tifosi. Hamilton will need to adapt to an environment where last-minute strategic changes are more common, intuition-based decisions play a bigger role, and internal politics are more complex than at Mercedes. His success at Ferrari may not just depend on his performance on track but also on his ability to navigate the team's internal dynamics. The 2026 rule change, a level playing field. One advantage for Hamilton is the major regulation change in 2026, which will introduce a new balance between electric and fuel power. This means that all teams and drivers will have to adapt from scratch, potentially reducing Hamilton's disadvantage in switching from Mercedes. However, this also presents a new challenge. Ferrari must ensure they develop a competitive power unit for the new era. A defining challenge in Hamilton's career. With all these factors combined, Hamilton's move to Ferrari could be the toughest test of his career. His success in Maranello will not only depend on his driving skills but also on how quickly he can understand new technology, build strong relationships within the team, and adjust to a different working culture. One thing is certain, the 2025 season promises to be one of the most exciting in Formula One history. Yuki Tsunoda's future in F1, defining moment or the end of the road. The 2025 season will be a decisive one for Yuki Tsunoda. After missing out on a Red Bull seat, which was instead given to Liam Lawson, Tsunoda now faces immense pressure to prove himself at Racing Bulls. Red Bull's senior advisor, Helmut Marko, has made it clear that Tsunoda's performance this season will be the key factor in determining his future in Formula One. If he fails to outperform his teammate, Isack Hadjar, his chances of staying in F1 could disappear for good. Marko's statement is a strong signal that Red Bull's patience with Tsunoda may be wearing thin. Despite his significant improvement over the past 4 seasons and his success in defeating previous teammates like Nyck de Vries and Daniel Ricciardo, raw speed alone is not enough. In modern F1, mental strength and consistency are just as important, especially in a high-pressure team like Red Bull, where expectations are sky-high. The decision to promote Lawson alongside Max Verstappen came as a surprise to many, given that Tsunoda had more F1 experience. However, Marko hinted that this decision was not purely based on on-track performance but also on mentality. Tsunoda has been known for his emotional outbursts over team radio, while Lawson is seen as more composed and has the potential to develop further. Now, the big question is, if Tsunoda fails to shine at Racing Bulls, where will he go next? Many speculate that he could move to Aston Martin due to his ties with Honda, which will supply engines to the team starting in 2026. However, the reality is far more complicated. Aston Martin already has Fernando Alonso and Lance Stroll, making it unlikely that Tsunoda will secure a seat there. Furthermore, Honda has made it clear that they cannot continue supporting Tsunoda indefinitely. He must prove that he deserves a place in F1 based on merit, not just because of Honda's backing. On a broader level, Tsunoda's situation also reflects Red Bull's ruthless approach to driver management. The team has never hesitated to replace drivers who fail to meet expectations. Past examples like Pierre Gasly, Alexander Albon, and Daniil Kvyat demonstrate just how high Red Bull's standards are. Tsunoda now faces the biggest challenge of his career, proving that he is not just a quick driver but also has the mentality of a champion, one who can survive in the ultra-competitive world of F1. If he fails to beat Hadjar and secure his place at Racing Bulls, this could very well be his final season in F1. The question remains, can he turn things around and prove Red Bull wrong? This season will be Tsunoda's ultimate test, and only time will tell whether he will remain in the sport or be forced to seek opportunities elsewhere. Jack Doohan vs. Franco Colapinto. Is Alpine's future already decided? Many believe that Jack Doohan's time at Alpine is running out and that Franco Colapinto is simply waiting to take his place. But is this scenario truly inevitable, or is the situation more complex than just rumors? Business versus sport. The financial advantage for Colapinto. F1 is not just about speed, it's also about business. In this case, Colapinto holds significant financial appeal. Argentina has not had an F1 driver for years, and his presence opens doors to South American sponsorships, including Mercado Libre, which is already a partner of Alpine. With Flavio Briatore's influence within the team, speculation has grown that business interests could outweigh pure on-track performance. However, Colapinto is not just a financial asset, he is also a talented driver. His debut with Williams and involvement in F1 development programs have put him on the radar. If Alpine truly sees him as a long-term investment, his current role as a reserve driver may just be the first step in a bigger plan. Jack Doohan, under immense pressure. Meanwhile, Doohan is under enormous pressure. Rumors suggest that his contract includes a break clause after the first 5 or 6 races, fueling speculation that he has only a limited window to prove himself. Some even believe that Alpine's decision to put him in the car in Abu Dhabi last year was an early test of his capabilities. But Doohan is not without his strengths. He has built a reputation as a hard-working driver, playing a key role in car development through simulation work and technical input at the factory. During the Monaco Grand Prix last year, he reportedly worked late into the night to help the team find the best setup. This proves that his value goes beyond just race day performance. What happens next? Despite the growing rumors, Alpine's decision will likely still depend on results. If Doohan delivers solid performances in the opening races, speculation about Colapinto may fade. However, if he struggles, Briatore and the Alpine management could start considering alternative options sooner than expected. Colapinto himself will still need to prove he deserves a shot. His presence as a reserve driver in the early rounds of the season will give the media more opportunities to fuel the narrative of a potential shake-up at Alpine. Ultimately, whether Doohan keeps his seat or Colapinto steps up is not just about rumors, it's about Alpine's long-term strategy. F1 moves quickly, and decisions can change in an instant. For now, all eyes are on how Doohan takes advantage of the opportunity he has.